Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Intercontinental Sport TV. Back again this Monday. Yes, let's go, people. Yes, we don't need the building. You know what I'm talking about. This is Monday Sports review show. Epl Game 30 review. That's what we are doing today. And also Champions League. Let me tell you something. Arsenal drop points. They dropped some points. I mean 2 points in the bag, in the dustbin. They went home with just 1 point. I told you guys. Arsenal will drop points. And they did. Oh my goodness. All right, let me welcome everybody onto this show. It is what it is. You don't need the building. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. I am not here alone. Never. I don't work alone in this studio. Inside this studio, I do not here alone. I'm here with Cheye. I'm here with Robbie. Kunle is also joining me. And Mark to Mark is also joining me. Mark to Mark is a Barcelona fan. Barcelona will play in the next 90 minutes. I think Barcelona have already won this league. Forget about it. Forget about it. I don't know why Mark is still scared. All right, people. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let me welcome Cheye. Cheye, what's going on? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, good evening, Donny.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's good to be back. I think we had a really interesting weekend, particularly in the Premier League, where
we had a fantastic.
We saw Arsenal more or less look like they were going to end their Anfield nightmare. But then they let things slip. They allowed Liverpool back into the game. We saw Man City thrash Southampton, and right now I think they are currently in that zone where they tend to go on long winning streaks. I don't know if Prof is on today, but I'm pretty sure if you were to be on, you would more or less repeat that he has been saying this for weeks. So I still feel it's in Arsenal's hands. To be honest, it's in both teams' hands really, because if Arsenal win their remaining games, they are champions. But if Man City do as well, they'll also be champions. So I think I'm looking forward to the climax of this really interesting campaign.
All right, welcome, bro. Welcome, bro. Let me ask Robbie. Robbie, Manchester United beat Everton silly. Talk to me, Robbie.
Hey, good evening to you, Dudon. Good evening to Cheye. Good evening to our listeners and viewers back at home. Just like Cheye rightly said, it is so good to be back on the show. I think this weekend was a unique one because we saw things as they should be. United won. Man City trashed Southampton. Chelsea, in the other hand, I don't know if Cheye saw this one coming, but I saw the goal this morning, and I'll tell you that goal is worthy to win any match, any day of the week. Beautiful volley against Chelsea, and I think the game of the week was the Arsenal and the Liverpool game. I was at the stadium yesterday, and I'll tell you one thing: when I saw 2 goals up for Arsenal, I was just lamenting, like, okay, well, maybe this is more or less like a roller coaster, and Arsenal has this one in the bag. But we all know the way football does. Nothing is certain. You cannot predict anything. You can't predict anything. And I'll tell you right now, I just like Cheye rightly said, the destiny of this title is in the hands of both teams. But I still have to look at their remaining games before this show. And I'll tell you, if I to actually look at things critically, the advantage is more or less on the side of Manchester City than Arsenal. Arsenal has to play 4 big teams with different ambitions on the table. They are not playing relegation threatening teams. Brighton wants to go to Europe. Chelsea is trying to survive. And you have Newcastle who also is trying to go to Europe. And you have Man City who wants to win the title. Those 4 games will determine their destiny, if they are going to be crowned champions or not. On that note, please let us get cracking.
Oh my goodness, let's get cracking, people. All right, let me welcome Mark. Barcelona already, they have one hand already the cup. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you. We have one hand on the cup, but then when you have one hand on something, and it means you are not totally holding it. It can be wrestled from your grip, and that is what you don't want to happen. So until we have the two hands firmly holding the La Liga trophy, it is not yet uhuru. That's what I would say.
Well, I'll still come back to Barcelona. I think Xavi deserves a lot of praise. I mean, I can't believe he can win this league, but let's give it to him. But we'll be back for Barcelona before you go and watch your Barcelona. I think they just need 3 points, I guess.
No, after today, if they win, they have to win 6 games consecutively. As long as Real Madrid keep winning. Yes, because as long as Real Madrid keep winning, Barcelona has to win. But if they win 6 consecutive games after this, then they are home and dry.
Oh, okay. All right, now, let me see. Kunle, talk to me. Manchester United bouncing like Barca Castle. Talk to me. How you doing, bro? You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Don, and good evening to everyone. It's great to be here once again. And yeah, what a weekend of football, great football that we. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a very great weekend of football. But Mio, I will beg to differ with what Robbie said.
I know
that about because you're trying to say that Manchester, that the clubs Arsenal are going to face have ambitions. Even the ones Man City are going to face have ambitions. They are still. If I'm going to look at the Premier League table very well, just give me a few seconds, please. I'm coming. I just want to read because that argument just keeps going on and on. Yes, Man City are still going to Brentford. They are still going to play Chelsea. They are going to Everton. They are going to play Leeds United. They are going to play West Ham. These are all teams wanting to avoid the drop. So it's not going to be easy for them either. Then they are going to play a Brighton who wants to be in Europe or who is probably harboring and top 4 ambitions. Their next game is against Leicester City. Leicester City need points. So for me, I know, yes, it's probably yes, you would say City have what it takes, right? But this is the Premier League. They don't respect you. You know, on a day, City can be beaten, okay? Where all their plans will go haywire and they won't get anything. So it can still happen. I still see them dropping points. Even if Arsenal will still drop points, so will City. So this idea of the two of them winning their remaining games, and I'm sorry, I don't see that happening. I think both teams will still drop points. So I still feel it's going to go down to the wire.
All right, going down to the wire. Let me ask Ehis. Ehis, how you feeling? I'm sure 2-point drop over the weekend. Ehis, how is Arsenal fans camp right now? How do you feel as a Arsenal fan? Dropping 2 points in this critical.
It's good to be on the show.
You're welcome.
It's good to be on the show, man. It's good to be on the show. Well, it's like a case of seeing a glass half empty or half full. In this position, I'm going to see it half full. I know naysayers and cynics will see it as half empty. Say 2 points drop. It's 1 point gain. A point on the board is better than 0 points. And I bet Manchester United can attest to that when they went to Anfield. And also Man City as well. Definitely. So it's a title race. Getting 1 point at Anfield is very, very good for any team in the position of contesting for the title. I feel the boys shouldn't let their heads down. They did the job, did what they could do, and they were able to come out with 1 point. A lot of people said Ramsdale saved Arsenal. If Ramsdale is not going to save Arsenal, then who's going to save Arsenal? Ramsdale is an Arsenal goalkeeper. He doesn't belong to any other club. He's signed for Arsenal. He's an Arsenal player. So, for me, I feel 1 point gain for me in the context of this title race. And I'm just here to, let's get cracking, man, and let's get talking.
All right, people, this guy is telling me let's get cracking. He doesn't care. I'm telling you, let me welcome this great man, this great gentleman that loves Lampard to the die hard. He said die hard. I'm telling you, Prof is in the building. He loves Lampard. He says Lampard is going to do many things. Lampard is going to restore the dressing room. But the way I'm seeing it over the weekend, it was please complete the fill in the gap. Prof, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Yeah.
You are fuming. You are fuming.
No, I'm not fuming,
okay.
actually.
All
We're
right.
used to it now. We're already at that low, very, very low edge. So like I said, I mean, well, every day we Chelsea go out to play, you're sort of expecting them to be beaten, no matter the manager in charge. It's not. We now know it's not a manager thing. This team cannot just score goals. They don't have it in them to be able to score goals, and that's the Achilles heel for us. So,
Prof, what do you think? Yeah. Let me start from you, Prof. What is actually going on? Is it the players now, or what is?
Yeah, I mean, I was sharing it with Iris. I was sharing it with Iris behind the scenes, and I said, since when we lost players like Eden Hazard and Willian in his prime, look at it. Chelsea have not had a winger. It's not a third body issue. Chelsea they've not had prolific goal scorers ever since then. We signed the likes of Christian Pulisic. It wasn't Todd Boehly who signed Christian Pulisic, who isn't prolific, who has been in and out of the team with injuries as well. The likes of Kai Havertz was signed by not Todd Boehly, by Roman Abramovich. So we've had these players. Mason Mount has, we give you possibly 10 goals, 8-9 goals. So we've not had, under Thomas Tuchel, by the way, Jorginho was once our top goal scorer in the Premier League with 7 goals. So you can see it's not a managerial problem at this time. It's the recruitment right from towards the end of Roman Abramovich that was wrong, or with the signing of the players. So hopefully Todd Boehly can change it. But we've not had goal scorers since the likes of Eden Hazard, the prolific wingers, Willian, who comes up with the goal, Diego Costa, a striker. We don't have strikers and we don't have wingers to come in with goals for us, and that's the problem that we're facing today. We have a strong midfield, strong defense, but the attack is letting us down.
All right, the attack is letting Chelsea down. They are actually, the way I'm seeing everybody, Chelsea fans, they are now started shifting.
I find what Prof
really
said. Yes, I mean, considering the attacking talent that they spent a lot of money on. I mean, the Noni Maduekes, the Joao Felixes, the honestly, I don't. Please, what is his first name? I am being so used to
Joao Felix.
That Mukaila has stuck in my head. Mudryk, Mikhail Mudryk. Sorry, Mikhail Mudryk. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say yes. I understand that it's a new environment, them getting to grabs and all of that. But like we know, the Premier League is fast paced.
Yeah.
There's no time for. I mean, even Anthony gets a lot of stick. They say, even despite the fact that he has scored like 6 goals for the club, which were all good goals, people still criticize him for being one-dimensional, this, and that. So, I mean, if you are now getting players who are of great potential and then they are not showing it, I think it shows that maybe there is something wrong with the club. That
Kunle, I think it's too early.
I personally think it's not the manager. No, wait, Prof. Because Prof. Let's be real with this thing. Because this is not. You have prospects. Then you now even have proven names, experienced. Yeah. Aubameyang. There's Raheem Sterling. Please, who else is there? I'm sorry, but Chelsea should not have any excuse, because if what was going on with Chelsea, if it were to be Manchester United, I mean, the kind of roasting that the club will get.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that before Thomas Tuchel was sacked, we're not getting results. I think people forget this thing quite early. We lost Champions League games against very less oppositions. We didn't score goals with Thomas Tuchel, and that was why I went out to get Aubameyang. Thomas Tuchel signed Romelu Lukaku, didn't get him firing. So we have to understand that when you say the manager, Thomas Tuchel, a world-class manager who won the Champions League, couldn't get much goals out of these players. Like, I don't want us to be so quick in criticizing Noni Madueke and the new young boys. They are very, very young and they are just still inside. They just got into the team. They will need time to gel. They will need the preseason. They will need all that. So, and then concerning the Arsenal Liverpool game, by the way, I'm hearing a lot of people saying it's 1 point dropped. For me, no. I think it's 2. I think it's 2 points.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Let me quickly finish this. Manchester United over the weekend, we beat Everton silly with 2-0. Aston Villa also ride over Nottingham Forest. Brentford was beaten by Newcastle. Look at that. And also West Ham's snatch. I think they beat Fulham. Likewise, Bournemouth also beat Leicester City. Spurs were so lucky. That's where I want us to discuss where the VAR also is in question. I don't know where to start with that. Spurs beating Brighton with 2 goes to 1. Chelsea lost to Wolves, and also Man City beat Southampton 4-1. Over the weekend on Sunday, Crystal Palace beat Leeds United in their ground, silly. And also we remember the last game of the weekend, which is Liverpool versus Arsenal, which ended in 2-2 draw. I'm going to start with you, Sheyo Midera, on this game, the game between Spurs versus Brighton. Sheye, the bad decision in question. I mean, how do you see the game?
Yeah, obviously, I think they've come out to apologize.
Every time they come out to apologize.
It's just
crazy.
I think it's a disgrace because you don't even have to. You are watching this. You tend to have the advantage of actually having video replays. So I feel it's surprising that they still can't make the right calls, even though they are seeing the replays of those decisions. And then you know that these teams that you're messing up with your wrong and poor officiating, they have things to play for. Brighton are trying to get into Euro for the first time. So something like this now, it's going to affect them because I feel they could and should have won at Spurs. They were the better team. They had more chances, and then they just needed they needed the ref to make, or the VAR to make the right decision. And this is actually the second time, because a few weeks back against Palace as well, there was an offside call that was against them as well, and that saw them drop points against Palace. So now this is twice in just a matter of weeks where Brighton have been outdone by, and I feel the Zerbi has the right to actually be aggrieved, because these things can't keep happening, because you keep offering apologies, whereas you need to fix your refereeing system, where referees just are not good enough. Really, I feel there needs to be a revamp of the refereeing structure in the Premier League. But the issue now is, if you actually look deep down, even the refs that are coming through from the lower leagues, they are not good enough. So you just wonder what the future holds for officiating in England, because the refs in the Premier League are a bit hit and miss. Most of them are actually average, and the ones coming through from the lower leagues are also not good enough. So it seems like we might have to get used to this. But it's just a shame, because I feel with VAR being able to review those decisions, you should be able to make the right calls. Yeah. Having the advantage of having video replay. So it's just poor for the Premier League, because this is actually a disgrace, because
absolutely
you shouldn't be getting these simple calls wrong. I think it's a disgrace, honestly.
It's absolutely disgrace. Robbie, do you think there's a way? Somebody said the way we should correct this VAR decision. I think I was watching one podcast. The guy said the players should stop playing, or they should just stop playing, and make it difficult for them to make a decision. I mean, maybe there's something must be done. Something must be done.
For me, the problem with
the players can. Sorry, Prof. The players can't stop playing. I will always maintain my stand as regards the introduction of VAR, even though I know Kunle will later come with his own assessment. But the thing is, I think the introduction of VAR has made referees very, very lazy. We saw the World Cup, the last World Cup, and of course, we saw the semi-automated refereeing system that was almost spot on in all the situations that it was called upon to review. Mm-hmm. And one thing that gets me angry with the EPL is, in a case where there is a foul, especially an offside, in fact, if you actually pay close attention, what I'm about to talk about was still done 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? Yes. Instead of the VAR officials to draw the line, like we see it in La Liga, Italian Serie A, and so on and so forth, they will be zooming the picture as if you want to take a photograph. And that particularly gets me angry. Draw the line instead of zooming in on the picture. We don't want any zoom. It is simple. Take a straight line and draw it, and let us know, okay, the arm of the player is in the offside position, the left leg is in the offside position, or the player's buttock, the player's knee, the player's chest. But the English VAR will start zooming the picture before they now draw the line. And if you look at the time it takes for them to do this, it is almost about 2 or 3 minutes. And you just begin to ask questions. What exactly is the problem going on? I saw the Brighton game against Tottenham Hotspur, and I will tell you, I was very gutted and I was very sad. It was more or less as if I should shift sport to another one entirely. Even tennis does not have this problem. Tennis has the eagle eye that is almost as perfect as creation itself. If the ball is out, it will tell you the ball is out. If the ball is in, it will tell you the ball is in. There is no debate about it. And for tennis, it does not even take up to about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You get to see it on the screen. And it is clear as daylight. Why is the EPL having the same problem? And you just begin to ask all these questions. For me, Brighton were robbed, or more or less, let me say Brighton were unfortunate on that day. They should not have lost that match. Aside the fact that, yes, we have the big teams in the EPL, Brighton right now are playing very exciting football. And for at least for those who really appreciate what they are doing, Brighton and Newcastle are just one team you actually will be very happy to sit down on a Saturday and watch their game aside of anybody's favorite team. Because these two teams are doing something very, very good in the EPL. I was gutted, and the question I asked when I saw the news was, how does the apology help Brighton? How does the apology help Brighton in any way?
At all.
Should they fall short of European football this season? You now go back to that match, and it's now a case of if we had known, if this had not happened. So I think at this point in time, the EPL really needs to take a firm stand, and of course, they need to look for a lasting solution to this nagging problem.
Is
Let me
anybody
just quickly add to Robbie's assertion there. I just feel we've talked about this VAR issue over and over again.
Over and
This
over
is
again.
up
Yeah.
time, yeah. And if I remember the last episode on Friday when we were here, Robbie was the one that advocated that he hopes this weekend there won't be any VAR issue. And here we are talking about VAR issue again. I feel solution to this, we see how they do it in NFL, the football league in America. We see how they do it in the NBA. We hear the communication, we hear the conversation between the officials or among the officials. We hear. And even if you notice in the Spanish La Liga, if there's any issue that has to do with VAR coming into it, they show the room where they are. We see what they are doing. We see how they are attending to the matter on hand.
Mark, you can testify to it. Mark?
But the EPL, we don't see anything. We just
Yes,
see.
I can support that. Yeah.
We just see screen on the board, or we just see something on the screen saying how they are showing the line, how the referees are communicating. If they can do it in such a way that we can listen to their conversation, and also in addition, officials should be made to have press conferences so we can understand the reason behind their motive, the motive behind the decision they've made, because really it's shambolic. Everybody has fallen into the trap of this VAR issue, all teams. And it's just a pity that we have to keep talking about it and they keep coming back to apologize. Who apology won't help? Like, really?
I tell you, still on this one. Liverpool versus Arsenal. I'll start off with you, Ehis, again. What's your how do you see the game to Arsenal FC? The game, the title race is open for me. But do you think you guys can push it to the end?
Definitely, we can push it to the end. If you see the manner, for me, the stats are there. The points are accrued on the board. It tells the story. 73 points from normally. I don't know, 74. Or I'm not getting the stats right now. If you can show us the table.
All right.
So I don't.
Yeah. 73 to 67.
Yeah. So 73 with 30 games played. Come on, at this point, you could just give Arsenal, give them the honors, give them the flowers, because really they've done exceedingly, and they've showed that they could stand on their own. Before that game on Friday, there were doubts.
Absolutely.
Across the media, but I was watching the Premier League itself on DSTV channel 2203. The guys there, none of them gave Arsenal any credit. They said Arsenal was going to lose. The prediction, all of them predicted. The guys that do the fan zone, the different EPL preview, no one gave Arsenal the chance. Everybody said Anfield is a very crazy place. Arsenal will go there and lose. Liverpool have been good at home. They've not lost. And the only team they've lost to is Leeds United, and that was one of. They were beginning to show stats of games they've won. Bournemouth 9-0, Manchester United 7-0, and the likes. And nobody gave Arsenal the chance. Even last week, Friday here, we all, some alluded, some
Me,
said,
even me.
yeah. So and going to such a place, the first 30-40 minutes, Arsenal dominated. They played well. Had to shut the Liverpool fans up. But
So what did you think? What did you think?
No,
Arteta?
I'm just trying to.
All right.
I'm just trying to. So I'm not trying to scapegoat. I'm not trying to scapegoat Granit Xhaka here. He's a lovely player. He's put in the shift from the beginning of the season, and it's been wonderful thus far. I said it last week on Friday that Arsenal, if I were to be in the dressing room, I think I would have been echoing this thing over and over again into the ears of the players. You don't give anything to the Liverpool fans. You don't give them any energy to ride on. And I think that scuffle, in my own opinion, that scuffle Granit Xhaka had with Trent Alexander-Arnold was what changed the dynamics of the game. And you could see the Liverpool, that is always what they look for. They just look for the minutest of things to hold on to, and they rode on it. And before you know it, Arsenal were in 6th and 7th. They didn't even get their rhythm. The halftime whistle came to the rescue of Arsenal, because if that game had gone another 5 or 10 minutes, possibly that game would have been, Liverpool might have leveled the game. But they went into the second half, a different context from what we saw in the first half. I don't know what was spoken, and I'm sure Arteta would have spoken to the players, maintain what you started with, and we saw a different shade of Arsenal that we saw in the first half. Liverpool took over and missed a lot of chances, even though despite Arsenal sitting back, Arsenal had one or two chances to have just nicked the game or possibly extended the lead. The Gabriel Mangalish header, if he had put his head well to that ball, possibly that would have been at the back of the net. And possibly Jiltas just showed these guys are humans. And at the end of the day, Aaron Ramsdale was there. Man of the match award. He was there to save us that 1 point. I'm not here to argue with anybody. Everybody is opinionated. You could say it's 2 points lost. But looking at it, face value on the EPL table was a point added to Arsenal's point tally yesterday. Yes, it was added. And I don't understand where all this comes from when people are saying 2 points dropped. It's going to affect the psychology. And mind you, just a quick reminder, in February, Man City went ahead of Arsenal. Man City went into the first position. They climbed into the first position. And after that February, they were kicked back to the second position. Nobody is saying that. But if it's Arsenal, all hell will let loose. This is Man City that took advantage, got into the first position, and we thought it's going to be bye-bye to Arsenal. And you saw how they've come back, 7 straight wins. For me, it's part of the bump in the road. Going to Liverpool, gaining 1 point. I don't want to blame Arteta. Arteta has been fantastic all this while. Yeah, a lot of people were saying possibly could have done the substitution earlier, but it is what it is. His decisions he has made in the first 20. So just what happened yesterday shouldn't now be, we should throw him under the bus. He has been the manager, he's been in charge. Yes, a lot of people might have their say he could have make that substitution earlier, but it is what it is. 1 point gain. And I, as an Arsenal fan, I am so happy. This was one of the games I tipped to be one of the toughest games for Arsenal. I tipped Fulham away, I tipped Liverpool away, and I tipped Newcastle away. I'm not tipping Man City because I know we have what it takes to defeat Man City. That Man City that I've seen this season, I know we have it. But like I said, 8 games to go. We crack on, man.
All right. Oh, Prof.
Contrary opinion, please. I feel in recent weeks, okay, Prof, you can talk. Sorry.
Prof.
No.
Let's Prof.
Shaya,
Hold on, Prof. Shaya, you continue, please.
Okay, I just feel just to counter what Ehis ended with about Man City. I also had that same opinion previously, but I feel in recent weeks, I think we are starting to see the Man City that can go on a long winning run. They've been playing. It seems they found they're finally in that zone where they can batter you on the pitch. Watching them against Liverpool last week, although you can say Liverpool have their own issues, but I just feel Man City are currently in that zone. They've now won, I think, 6 or 7 games on the trot, scoring loads of goals. I feel right now, in a sense, I will actually side with Prof because I know he's going to make that same point. I feel Man City right now in that zone, but still, I feel Arsenal obviously have what it takes. But yesterday I saw something that I feel might count against Arsenal in the sense that the control they tend to have over games, it was not there yesterday. And like he is mentioned, I feel it turned after Xhaka and Trent got into that altercation. I think that was what got the Anfield crowd a bit riled up, and they had that energy that was seemingly subdued previously. So Arsenal lost control, and Arteta is someone who actually he tends to favor so much control, but they lost yesterday. And against a team like City, you can't afford not to have any element of control in your game.
All right, Prof. Assessing the game for Liverpool, since we don't have Irates in the in the building. So, please, could you please assess the game between?
I mean, first of all, what a great game of football! What a fantastic advert for the Premier League.
Yeah,
the two teams were very spot on. Arsenal came out of the blocks very quickly. I think they performed very well. They've been excellent this season. I've been able to give them their praises. I think they're a fantastic team this season. But for me, the phrase "1 point dropped," came from somewhere. It's not just it has a meaning to it. Everybody knows when you draw a game, it's a point added on the table. Okay, but when they say 2 points dropped or a point gain, it has to do with context of the game. Okay, this is the league leaders, flying league leaders. To be honest, they went into Anfield and they were 2 goals up. If that was Man City, we all know that I don't think Liverpool recovers from that game. So that's what they mean by 2 points drop. I think for me personally, I think it's 2 points dropped. I think if you're 2 goals ahead and you're chasing the title, you don't lose the 2 goals. You don't in any way lose the 2 goals. I mean, Arsenal might have just taken the point before the game. If they offer them a point, maybe they will take it. But considering the context of the game against the Liverpool side that, for me, are short of confidence. Mo Salah, you can see he's crossed lot of chances, crossed the penalty, things like this. Yeah, you would say for me it's 2 points drop. But looking at the game in the whole, I don't want to blame Arteta. A lot of people are saying Arteta did this. I think he made fantastic substitutions at the right time. I'd listened to Irit saying he shouldn't have changed the shape of the team to a back 3, and I disagree. I think it was the right thing to bring in the new signing defender. I can't remember his name now. I think it was the right thing for him to go to a back 5 and try and see the game out. It just worked against them. When Roberto Firmino came in, I knew something was going to happen because this is a man who has scored 8 goals in 8 games against Arsenal. He has a prolific record against them. He scores almost every time he plays Arsenal. So I knew there was going to be something in there for him, and then he got the goal. Looking at the running, I think, to be honest, I mean, I'm going to go a different route here. I actually think it favors Arsenal. I think it's Arsenal's title to lose, to be honest, right now, because I look at Man City, I look at their fixture list, and it's very congested. Very contested. I think they are fighting on 3 fronts. And people don't know, but Pep Guardiola actually has a very thin squad. I mean, it's a thin squad full of quality, but they are actually very thin. If you look at the bench, if they haven't started their first 11, the only attacking players they have, aside the first 11, you would say probably is Foden and Alvarez. If they put in their first 11. So they don't have a lot of, and then they're in Champions League, they're playing FA Cups, they're chasing Arsenal down. I think it'll be I think if Pep pulls this off, this would be for me the greatest title is if he pulls this off and overtakes Arsenal. I think for me it's going to be the biggest Premier League title win for him, in my opinion. So it's Arsenal's to lose. They have full focus on just making sure they go on ahead and win their remaining games. I think they can't do it, but the game against City, I disagree. I don't think they'll get anything from that game. So I think their hope should be on City losing points, which they can. To be honest, they can't drop points, like I said, because they're fighting on all fronts. So that should be their hope. Because the game in Etihad, I don't see any way Arsenal are going to get anything from that game. But all in all, good luck to them. Good luck to both teams.
the good luck. No,
just to counter the Liverpool representative. Even if you gave Arsenal praise, you're well done. I'm going to shake your hand as a man.
Yeah,
but
very good guy.
1 point gained, 2 points dropped are all semantics, really, for me, in my own opinion. And if you listen to Jurgen Klopp's presser yesterday, not the main press conference, but the one they go into the box and they ask them immediately after the match. Yeah. He said it himself. He understands the scenario. He understands this terrain. He knows things like this comes with the territory. And he was asked, and he answered that for us now, this you can go watch it, you can go check it out to see maybe if I'm lying or I'm trying to, blow things out of proportion or say things that is not the way it is. He said it that this is 1 point gained for Arsenal, and you could even listen to legends, people that have played football in the past, the people in the media house that day, Tony Adams and the other Liverpool guy. Tony Adams said it that in the running for winning, it has been involved in this. Games like this, if you can pull it off to get a point, when you win the league, you come back to games like this. And he said it that those saves from Aaron Ramsdale are saves that you come back by and look back and said, yes, this point was worth it. So just to say, 1 point gained, 2 points dropped. They're all semantics because face value, Arsenal going to the next game, win West Ham, win Southampton, possibly win Man City. I'm sure we're going to forget this Liverpool game quick in a flash. So, like I said, it's all semantics. That's just what I just wanted to counter.
No, I
that.
think it is. I think you're right. Coming from that angle, I think is right because I didn't actually consider it from that angle. I considered it from the angle of the fact that they were 2 goals up. But again, if you consider it from the angle of the fact that they were battered towards the end of the game, and like you said, Ramsey came up with world-class saves, then you can actually come from that angle and say, yes, they could have lost the game. They could have come out with nothing. So from that angle, you can say, yes, they gained the point. But me, I'm looking at the game holistically and saying, went 2-0 up, a better team than Liverpool. Liverpool team short of confidence. Them 2 goals advantage. Maybe it's 2 goals drop. But yeah, I understand what he's saying, by the way.
Yeah. Yesterday, this for me, the player, this guy, Ehis. Can you wax some lyrics for this guy? I mean,
yes, I will. We had our right back issue on the WhatsApp group, but we'll leave that for another day. Now, I really don't understand what Gareth Southgate see in what's his name, the Everton goalkeeper. Really,
I don't know
because he's the manager.
I don't
and
know.
He's responsible
Jordan
for the
Pickford.
decisions he makes.
Pickford.
Yeah, Jordan Pickford. Like, he's the traditional guy. He loves using what has worked for him in the past and feels comfortable with Jordan Pickford. So I'm not going to doubt I'm not going to throw shades at his decision. But I think yesterday, Aaron Ramsdale, and this is not just the game where he had pulled out some magnificent saves this season. Like I said, at the end of the season, when Arsenal wins the title, I'm confident and I'm positive because the only thing I need to do right now is to be positive.
Yeah.
When Arsenal wins the title, we're going to look back into the season and see saves that Aaron Ramsdale has made to have kept us in the title race, have kept us afloat. Games like Bournemouth, that 2-0, when Bournemouth went up 2-0, Bournemouth would have gone 4-0 up, and he made some magnificent saves. I can count games where he has saved this season, but yesterday's performance usurps every other thing he has done because at the Anfield, now I understood. I had the fear of the 12th man. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm human. On Friday here, I was just using Ogboju to say, yes, with our form, we're going to there. But the 12th man, give it to them. That's why they call that place. That's why they call that place crazy.
Yeah.
See, you could see within the space of how many minutes
a
team that was confident, that have gone to score 2 goals, all of a sudden became disoriented. Like they just didn't know what they were doing. Arteta said it that the last game he played there, where they won 5-1, that in that game things were just passing him like speed of light. The way the goals were just going in, and that shows for me. I feel yes, the players could be sad that they lost or they drew that game, but the positive they need to pick out of that game was you drew that game. Even Man City lost there. Man City, your rival, dropped 3 points there. Let me just pick 1 point. You picked 1 point, and it's good enough. And Ramsdale stood out yesterday. I'm going to praise him, and I hope he continues in this form in the remaining 8 games. Wherever he needs to be called up, he should answer. This is not the end. The sky is just the starting point. He should do more for us in the remaining 8 games. Go to Etihad and stop Man City from winning us, and I'll be so happy.
All right. That being said, I want to Kunle from your own point
Yes,
of
boss.
view, who do you think has a better running? Let's just go back to that question. Because I'm just looking at this table right now. I'm looking at
Yeah,
Arsenal.
it's
Can Arsenal see? Arsenal has a
yeah,
very, I mean, West
yeah.
Ham,
Arsenal's
then Southampton, Man City,
yeah,
Chelsea, Newcastle.
yes,
That's
yes.
man.
But at the same time, uh,
Yes.
let's not put it that maybe City's games are easier. Yes, I
Of
think I
course,
agree
of
with
course.
Shea saying that City seem to have found their rhythm finally, which had been lacking in some games. I
Yes.
think I agree with that. But uh, let's not forget how intense the relegation fight is. Right? Yes, they might have beaten Southampton,
Yes.
but it might not be the same thing when they face West Ham or when they face an Everton. It might not, because, and let's not forget that they are going to the homes of some of these teams. Not everything is going to be played at the Etihad. So the crowd riling the players up like we saw at Anfield. Those factors are going to come to play. That intensity where maybe the game gets charged up. And City is not a team that, when things start getting physical, they know how to, get their shape and all. It can get under their skin. I mean, I think I remember we saw it. Was it not I can't remember which game that was, where things got physical, and I think one of their players was in the Champions League or where, I can't remember. But so I feel it's still all to play for, right? But I just wanted to stress on something, where Ehis was saying that, okay, 1 point gain. I just want to just point out where, as much as it's still all to play for, I can understand why the pundits are saying that maybe this is it. It's over for Arsenal. If you remember during the 11-12 season, when the only time when the Premier League title was decided by goal difference, that was like one of the most humiliating for me personally, because seeing how Manchester United lost it. That game, that season was decided the day when Manchester United drew Everton 4-4. I don't know if anybody can remember that.
Yes.
But
4-4.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game.
They had one guy who was a Croatian, something which I've forgotten his name. Something, he scored a brace or something. If United had won that game, right? They played City next. If United had won that game against Everton and then City beat them, United would have won the title. But because of that draw and City beating United in the next game, City now used that one to draw them on.
In fact, he forgotten the game against Wigan as well. Add the game against Wigan. The game against Wigan also was part of the problem why United did not win that league that season as well. United dropped points at Wigan.
Yeah, I get you, but I think that Everton game was the killer punch. It was the killer because I think we were leading. 4-1, and then they now came back. You understand? And so when City beat United the following game, the two teams won every game till the end of the season. But by City beating United, because of that previous draw, it was now level. So if they had beaten Everton and City won, the gap would have been 3 points, even if City beat us and if we had won the remaining game. So I think I understand where the pundits are coming from. It could be from that kind of narration, but then I feel it's really different now because, like I've mentioned, the relegation fight is intense. And another thing I should point out, guys, let's not point, even if Arsenal don't win this title at the end of the day, please, I don't think we should look at this thing as a disaster. Because let's ask ourselves, when last
I'm at the disaster.
No, disaster. When last did Arsenal finish in the top 4? Let's ask ourselves, when last were Arsenal in the Champions League? So, I mean, if Arsenal, and I think the top 4 looks guaranteed for them, yes, it's going to be painful, but at least they should be able to take some solace that, okay, they were really competitive this time around, like they freaking came close, right? So, if they can keep their heads up, I think they are really doing something better. We are seeing Arsenal being competitive once again. They keep building it from there. That's how the likes of City and Liverpool got to where they are, right? So I feel it's not going to be something that should be painful. at the end of the day. Liverpool, after all, it took them like 3 seasons before they could finally win.
All right, Kunle.
Sorry, don't just quickly add to what Kunle said quickly. The question was who has the easiest running. Okay, look for me, looking at it in isolation. Okay, and with the fact that City are well experienced oil machine who have been here before, just go and ask Liverpool fans what their eyes have been through. I listened to Liverpool fans yesterday. They were speaking on Arsenal fans TV, and they were warning the Arsenal fans that look, we know what we are telling people. This team, they are an animal. You cannot just reach them. They beat us twice by 1 point. You keep chasing, they keep going away from you. Looking at the fixtures in isolation, to be honest, I think Man City have better fixtures because Arsenal
look at the fixture.
Yeah, Arsenal are still going to go to St. James's Park. I think they will still go. They will still play Brighton. Obviously, I don't count Chelsea as part of it, but they still have. I think Arsenal have a little bit. No, I don't. I don't rate Chelsea as part of the problems for them, but I still feel like they still have the more difficult fixtures than City. Now, I was asking a question now that who would. I also feel like Arsenal fans should pray that Bayern Munich knocks out Man City. Man City is very important. If Bayern Munich knocks out Man City should knock out Bayern Munich. Because if Man City knocks out Bayern Munich, then they have more bigger fish in their pond to contend with. If they don't, any attempt for Bayern to knock out Man City is finished for Arsenal Football Club. Because Pep is just going to go. Pep is just going to go all the way. No, let me finish. Let me finish. I know what I'm saying.
You are still coming to that, you.
I know what I'm saying. I need to play out. If Man City have a huge distraction, we all know that they want the Champions League more than anything. Yeah. So if they progress, Pep has a lot to contend with, and we all know he's a tinker man. He will not hesitate to tinker with. He can tinker his team for the Premier League games, which will favor Arsenal. This is not just about what you do on the pitch anymore. Arsenal fans should make no mistake about it. It's more than what you put out on the yes, what you put on the pitch has gotten you to this level. From now on, you need a lot of luck. You need a lot of things, a lot of permutations going forward. This is a Pep Guardiola's team we're talking about here. If they go out of the Champions League, they are going to be fully focused on that league, and I don't see any way in this world that you stop them.
One I just want to add to what you're saying. Sorry. Let me allow.
Okay, I'll let you go. Just be brief. It's okay.
What I just wanted to rebuttal on what Prof just said. The season Liverpool won the league, the COVID era. I'm sure with how many games to go, I think we all knew Liverpool was going to go for it because they went on 33 games. I think it was on the 34th game they lost to Watford, and we knew at that time they were winning the league, right? And what did Man City do? What did Pep do? Pep knew, okay, I've lost the league. Now I'm going to put all my eggs into the Champions League basket, right? And which was easy on paper. They were playing Lyon in the quarterfinal. It was the easiest fixture ever that we all ticked that box to say, Man City has gone through. And what happened at the end? For me, football is not like this. Football is not as easy as we say it behind the screen. There's a whole lot that goes behind it. Let me allow Mark take the.
But all right, Mark. What do you say about this?
Okay, quickly, I want to talk about two issues. First, I want to talk about your man of the match, Aaron Ramsdale. And somebody mentioned that, I think it was Ehis who said he didn't know why Gareth Southgate is not using him as the number one. I think that it's still early days for him as far as his England national team career is concerned, and the future is very bright. From what I saw in that match, that towards the end of the game, that goal that could have been scored by Konate, if you remember, that he showed a lot of composure for a young player, a young goalkeeper like that. Yeah, I think the sky is even the beginning for him. So the case is synonymous with what happened with Germany, where Manuel Neuer is preferred ahead of Ter Stegen, and it's just because there is this seniority complex in national teams where they tell younger players, yes, we know you are good, but wait your turn. So his turn will actually come. He has made 3 appearances so far, if I'm correct, for the England national team. So he will get there. Then coming back to this issue at hand.
This issue, go.
This one about Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United, and the other teams in the mix. How it's all going to pan out. I saw the Liverpool game, And I really felt in love with what Arsenal did in the first half. They really showed that will to win. But then in the second half, that win dissipated. I don't know what happened to them. They let their guard down, and Liverpool, after scoring their first goal, they saw, oh, we could actually win this. And they started to mount the pressure, and Arsenal did not respond well. I think that on the basis of what we have seen in the Premier League so far this season, if Arsenal fail to win this cup, it is going to be a great disappointment. Let us not kid ourselves about it. I don't see why they cannot win it. All they need from now, with the last, I think it's 10 matches remaining, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
10 on, yeah. What they need for this 10
It's
matches.
9.
8 to 9. Okay. So this last stretch of the season going forward, they need the grace of God. They need a thinking coach, and they need the will to win, to see games off. There is no need to be complacent. When you are on the field and you are dominating, dominate to the end. I know it is easy to say that on paper or just as we are discussing, but that is the stuff of champions. They need to impress themselves on their opponents to see that they do what they need for, and then they win games and get the 3 points. If they do not do that, and Man City, who are looking very good right now, overtake them, it will be a great disaster.
Well, it will be a great disaster. Let's move on to this guy. Quick one. I'm going to ask. I think Robbie, did you know this guy?
Yes, Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, give us the lowdown. What happened over the weekend about this great guy?
Let me actually speak from my own personal experience. Because yesterday was Easter Sunday. I actually stayed up very late, trying to see if I could catch the match. But the long and short of the whole story was, on Saturday, I didn't know if I was dreaming or not, but I stumbled upon the preparation the preparation as well as the press, the interviews granted by both fighters leading up to this game. And I think one thing that stood out for me is the fact that both fighters actually put so much effort into this fight. That is one. Two, both fighters are no strangers to each other. Pereira has defeated Israel prior to the match of yesterday 3 times. And of course, they were very, very painful defeats for Israel. I saw the clips of all those defeats, and I think it was more or less the second defeat or so that actually hit Adesanya very hard, because Pereira really dominated that fight. And of course, the interview granted to Adesanya leading up to the match, he was asked, why do you have a collar around your neck? He said he's a dog and he's about to be unleashed. And I think that actually played out in the fight yesterday. In the first round, yes, according to reports that we got, that Pereira was actually leading on the scorecards. He was leading based on points. And in the second round, he got a little bit complacent, because I believe that one of Adesanya's tactics going into that fight was to lure him in so that he could actually knock him out. And that was what he did yesterday. One punch was more or less what disoriented Alex Pereira, and Adesanya went in for the kill. And I was so happy he actually killed the man right there on the spot. So for Adesanya, it is a big win, not just as the current champion of his division, but also a psychological win for him. This is somebody that has lauded the wins over him over the past years. And for him to have defeated him when he mattered the most, in front of everyone that did not give him a chance, says so much. So for me, I will tell you that he is indeed a showstopper. He is indeed a champion, yes, he is indeed a champion. And of course, I will tell you one thing, that this man puts his mouth where his money is. He comes, he delivers, and indeed, he's somebody that does not back down from a fight.
Yes. Let's move on to the Champions League. This is it's starting this week. Let's quickly do a review about the Champions League, guys. think the first match will be tomorrow. It's going to be a match between Manchester City versus Bayern. Going into that game, well, Sheye, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, Mark, can you hear me, Mark?
They can all hear you. Dodon, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
I don't think you can hear us.
I think we lost Don.
Yeah.
I can't hear him. Yeah.
I can't hear him either. I can't hear him either.
Yeah,
Hear the
that's-
music.
Can we just somebody continue with the show to the
Okay, you know what, Prof? Why not just take over the game between Man City and Bayern? Then maybe Mark or Kunle will take over the second match.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, the game against Man City and Bayern Munich, I think, would be a very, very difficult game. We all know that these two have met before in the Champions League. Is it done back? We all know these two have met before in the Champions League. I mean, the two managers.
Can anybody hear me?
They don't. We can hear you.
Didon, are you back? Oh yeah, don't worry. Oh yeah, Prof, continue.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be a revenge of managers. But Pep Guardiola will want to get the best out of Thomas Tuchel, who I think will also have a plan for him. So it's going to be a clash of the Titans. Thomas Tuchel lost the second game against Freiburg and was out of the cup.
Yeah, Mark, can you tell us the game between Manchester City versus Bayern?
Yeah.
Going into that game, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I lost the connection there.
I can hear you. We're having technical problems.
Yeah. So can I just continue?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So Pep needs this game. It's a huge game for him. I think he's going to go with his trusted back line. The one that served him for the latter part of this season, Ruben Diaz and Akonji, possibly John Stones at right back, Nathan Ake at left back, Godogan, Rodri, and De Bruyne, and then possibly Mahrez, Grealish, and Haaland. Of course, Haaland, who I think will have a lot of joy playing against. Going back to they are playing at home against Bayern Munich, so. But then we know that he knows also Haaland that he's been brought back to this Manchester team. He said it the other night. You know that he hit 5 goals against Leipzig. Leipzig, he was interviewed, and he said he knows that this club has brought him for the Champions League, and so he can't afford to fail them. So I think he'll be up for this game. It's going to be a very, very, very difficult game, a tactical game. I still don't know what sort of formation Thomas Tuchel might want to go. Can he go with the back 3, a back 5 that he used to defeat Pep when he was at Chelsea, or does he stick to a 4-3-3? What does he do? We don't know yet. We know what Guardiola would do, but I'm not sure about what Thomas Tuchel would do because he's a new coach. So it's going to be an interesting game. If I'm going to predict this one, I would say City might just edge it because they are at home and they know how badly they need this Champions. I think they will go all guns blazing and try and get the 3 points.
Yes, 3 points. Anybody has any contradiction?
For me, it's going to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, when it comes to Champions League, I try not to say this team will win over this team, but I always look out for to watch a good game of football, because that's where the best teams get to meet. But for this game, I'm sure there is a whole lot of beef. There's a whole not beef, but there's a whole lot of things laced underneath. Subplots. This guy facing his old club, facing his old manager that booted him out. I don't know. Is he eligible to play this game?
Yes, he's eligible. Juan Cancelo.
Yeah, Cancelo facing his old guard, which is in Pep, and also Thomas Tuchel. Meeting Pep again, and we know what he did to Pep in the Champions League final. I'm sure right now in Pep's head, a lot of mathematics, a lot of combination and permutation have been going on in his head on how to dispatch Bayern Munich at home well enough so that whenever they go back to Germany, it's going to be easy peasy and they move into the next round. But like I said, football doesn't work that way. I'm all out to look at it. I want to look out for a good game. And also, there is a subplot of Arsenal, which Prof was said earlier. Would Arsenal want Bayern Munich to win Manchester United, or would all Arsenal fans want Manchester United to win and go on to the next phase? So there's a whole lot of
Man City.
subplots in this.
Man City.
Sorry, Man City. Sorry, apologies for that. Man City win and go into the next tie. But for me, I just want to look out for, and also a part of what's his name, the robot, Ellen Haaland, his issues with Bayern Munich while he was at Dortmund. So I just want to look out for a good game. And the best team. Okay, we've not gone to the Inter Milan. Let somebody else take that.
Okay. What about Inter Milan versus I think Lisbon? Yeah. Kunle, do you have any Benfica? Sorry. Kunle?
I have something.
For which one? Mark.
For Inter, Benfica Inter.
Oh, okay. Okay, please go ahead, Mark. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So this game, although not as prestigious as the Manchester City Bayern Munich game, I think is interesting. I think both teams they had their first taste of meeting each other in 1965, and down through the years, I think it was around 2003-4 that they met themselves again in Europe. So they've not had many chances of playing each other. However, both of them in the last round, they have played teams from the opposing nations. You know, Benfica beat Juventus in the previous round, home and away, and then I think that Inter played Porto, if I'm correct. Also, so both of them will come into this game wanting to prove. But I think on paper, if we are to look at it on paper, I want to give it to Inter Milan. But then I subscribe to what he said about the Champions League. It is a very dangerous competition. You need to be fully focused. You cannot say your current form or your squad will win you a game. If you make a mistake, you'll be punished severely. So I think that for me, going into this game, it is even for both of them. But I want to give Inter that edge because they have a better pedigree, and then they have some one or two exceptional players that can take them through.
All right, let's move on to the.
I would disagree with that though.
Yeah, Kunle, this is where Kunle, this is where I want you to give us your point between AC Milan versus Napoli. You know, that's Italian Serie A. For my own case, the way I'm looking at it. So, what do you feel about this game, AC Milan versus Napoli? It's going to be massive.
Oh yes, definitely, it's going to be massive because you know, these are two teams who know each other well from the Serie A. What makes this game interesting? For me personally, I feel this is actually the most interesting game.
For me too.
Yeah, because, and one of the reasons why I say it's interesting is because we can see the form Napoli is in this season. And, you know, you're coming up against a team that has a name, has a pedigree in the Champions League, but they have not lived up to that standard. I mean, this is the second consecutive season AC Milan are going to be playing in the Champions League for since, was it not 2011 or 2012? You know, it's been that long they've been away from the Champions League. They've not been in the quarterfinals for such a long time. I think this is the first time Napoli are reaching the quarterfinals as well. Yeah. So it's like, this game is like an open book. You can't use Serie A form to judge because this is a cup competition, right? So it's not a league match. Everything, they are going to put their heart, their soul into it. So it will be interesting to see if Napoli can, you know, live up to that expectation, because some people are like, oh, they can win the Champions League. So it will be interesting to see if they can show that credential, or are we going to see the AC Milan of old, you know, that pedigree that we've seen from it. Are we going to see it, knowing that they have been able to go this far? So it's really going to be interesting to see, but I think it's going to be too close to call.
Okay, Prof, you guys are going to Bernabeu.
Yeah.
John, we don't need to discuss.
Kunle, rest.
We don't know.
Don't rule out Chelsea. Don't rule out Chelsea.
Okay, sorry.
What I want to say,
Frank Lampard can do it. That's true.
I think it's going to. I think it's a huge mountain.
Frank Lampard can do it.
It's a huge mountain. It's a huge mountain for for Chelsea to climb. But a very, very huge mountain for them to climb. I don't see them going there and getting anything out of it. I think if Frank Lampard wants to, if that Chelsea team and Frank want to stand any chance at all, I don't subscribe to that formation that he started against against our last.
What's the formation that you very
against
angry
Wolves? It went to a back four against Wolves. So if you want, but if he wants to stand any chance against Madrid, he has to go back to a back five. So he has to go back to a back five and use his wing backs properly and try and stay in the game. You should make sure he doesn't get dismantled by Madrid. He rested N'Golo Kante against Wolves. He's a very important player, big game player. We all know what we get from N'Golo Kante. He will be starting the game on Wednesday. I'm not sure about Thiago Silva, but he has been training. That game might be too early for him, but we're expecting back in Stamford Bridge. So what you want to do at Santiago Bernabeu is go there and stay in the game. Stay in the game. You have Enzo Fernandez. You have look from the defense and the midfield. I don't have any problem at all with Chelsea. It's the attack that's my problem. The defense is okay. The midfield is okay. You have solid players. Enzo Fernandez, N'Golo Kante, very solid players in the midfield. You know what you get from them. Go there and stay in the game. They are going to compete. And just make sure you compete, because we also what Benzema can do. In the twinkle of an eye, he can take the game away from you. For me, the world best wing guy at this moment in time for me is Vinicius Junior. He can dismantle anybody at any time. Yeah, so you have these very, very dangerous players in Madrid, and I'm just going to expect that he goes there with a back five. Reece James is capable of doing a great job against him. Vinicius of limiting his chances, so of neutralizing him, his potency. So that's what I expect Frank to do. To be honest, I don't expect us to get anything from that game. I expect Madrid to beat Chelsea in that game. But let's see if there's any miracle still left in that Chelsea team.
I thought you were being bullish a couple of weeks back. What has changed?
No, that is look. What I'm saying is, I don't, like I said, I don't like when people you feel like in football anything can happen, and if there's any team and if there's any team that can do it, like I said, when the odds were not with Chelsea, they did it. So look, Gary never said it as well. Do not be surprised that we'll go to that Bernabeu and probably come out with a draw. If we come out with a draw in Bernabeu, I'm sure lots of you will be surprised. It can happen. Villarreal went there and beat them. They did it over the weekend. They beat them. Simon Chukwueze, who couldn't do anything right. Who couldn't do anything right when we were playing Guinea-Bissau. Went there and scored the screamer. So look, these things happen. We can go there and somehow some with Joao Felix might find in it. Abbas might come up. So let's just see. Chelsea, if there's anything that can do it, they can.
Prof, just
following Prof's logic. Sorry. Let me just button. Following Prof's logic. Now you see if Arsenal fans are confident of going to Etihad to win Man City.
No. Ehis, come on. I did not say I'm confident. I just said it here now that I expect you to lose. I said it here now. I said I.
You still have this feeling. You still have this feeling
of getting a positive. Yeah, because like I said, this Chelsea team is just
exactly. They've done it. So that's all what we need to do. Just be positive. For me, like my thoughts on that game. Yeah. It's not hurry. It's not hurry for Real Madrid. Real Madrid shouldn't just feel this game is done and dusted because Chelsea are in the lowest ebb of their season, of their entire history. If that's entire career. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's just my thoughts on that game. Even if I love to banter Chelsea, but anything can happen, really.
Ehis, can we exchange? Would you let me? Ehis,
all these things you are saying. Wait, Prof. All these things you are saying. Wait, Prof. All these things you are saying will make meaning if you prevent Madrid from scoring. But Prof, you know that once Madrid come back to the goal, you know it's over. Voila.
Yeah, the Kings team of the Champions League.
We saw what happened to Madrid over the weekend, though. We saw what happened to Madrid over.
That was La Liga. That was La Liga. In Champions League, something seems to work for them. Even on their bad day, they start to.
Chelsea can use that template. So Chelsea could use that template.
That's what I wanted to point out. That Madrid actually rested their midfield. The starting midfield and defense was not their regular lineup. It wasn't. Both the defense.
For me,
so so that's one thing. So we are going to be seeing the regular. Luka Modric didn't play. Tony Cruz didn't.
For
It
me,
was
all that
Joao
one, I
Neves,
excuse.
Dani
Who was the
Ceballos,
badge? What badge did you see that day? Was it not Real Madrid's badge?
I'm
For
just
me, all that one is
saying.
not an excuse. Like, let them rest the
Okay.
entire play. But who did
Again,
Villarreal defeat over the weekend? Is it not Real Madrid?
I know.
So
I'm
anything
just
can
trying to
happen.
let you know that.
Sean,
What I'm just trying to point out is that those guys have been rested. They are refreshed, right? So if it were to be that those guys started now and Villarreal were beaten, that's where we go. But the bulk of the people who are going to do the work for Real Madrid were rested. So
Didn't Arsenal rest during the week? Liverpool played against Chelsea on Tuesday now. Didn't Arsenal rest over the week? And look at the game.
yes.
The dynamics of the game, it looked as if it was Arsenal that played during the week and Liverpool rested. So at times, this thing, the way football happens, it's not.
Well, true.
yeah,
All right,
it's a David versus Goliath game to me.
Yeah, let's quickly run La Liga, Thursday league. Europa that we did there. Feyenoord versus Roma, Manchester United welcoming Sevilla. Juventus also welcoming Lisbon, and Leverkusen versus Union. Kunle, was that? Union Gilos.
I can't.
Giloas.
Union Saint Gilo.
All right, Kunle, talk about Manchester United welcoming Sevilla this Thursday. I mean, that's the most important match for Manchester United this.
Wow.
I know. Casemiro is back. Casemiro is playing.
Which pressure be that one?
Sevilla are not playing well. Sevilla are not playing well.
Yeah, Sevilla, they are not playing well.
They are not playing well. They've had an abysmal season.
Yeah. Yes, they've had an abysmal season.
Let me even show you their league self.
But the scary
La
thing
Liga
when it comes to this Europa League,
they are 13th.
They're
on the
13th.
table.
They are bad.
Yes.
They are bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at their form.
Yes. You can't look when it comes to this kind of competitions, you have to leave the league. You know, the league form wouldn't really matter. You know, this is a team that is the most successful in the history of the Europa League. If anybody knows how to win the competition,
you have a point.
It is Sevilla. Let's not forget that they beat Manchester United in the semi-finals when United should have won. I'm not saying United don't have a chance, but if there is one team I do not want to face in this Europa League, it is not Sevilla. I would have preferred to face Union, St. Gilloise, or even Sporting Lisbon. Yes, I would prefer to face Sporting Lisbon or Bayer Leverkusen.
Or Juve.
Yes, even Juve. Not Sevilla, please. Not them. So it can go anywhere. It can go anywhere. But let's pray that Casemiro does not go and get another red card or somebody wanting what to happen. Because that's why I say pressure to because it's really going to be intense, no doubt about it.
Prof, what do you see about that game? Man U Sevilla. At least your brother.
I mean, you have Casemiro back. He's a very huge figure in that team. So I actually genuinely don't see how
Eriksen is also back.
Eriksen is also back. So I think you guys have a strong team. Anthony is beginning to show he's beginning to dazzle, show some quality as well. So we all know what Rashford is bang on form. So I think United should be comfortable in that game. It will be difficult. There's no easy games. It's a quarterfinal, but I think United should get the maximum points in that game.
Robbie, any updates on that game? Man U Sevilla.
Let me see. Updates. I think United is in the better form of these two teams heading into this fixture. But like Kunle rightly said, that when it comes to this type of competition, Sevilla has shown over the years that more or less they are one of the masters of this tournament. I think the only thing is United should just be prepared for any surprises that might actually come with this particular game.
Yeah, Rashford is out, Seth. Rashford is injured.
Yes, Rashford is out. So, because like they said, that the man that is down is not scared of falling. And of course, Sevilla is more or less that man that is down and that is not scared of falling. And like my father always say, when a dog bites a man, it is no news. But it is when a man bites a dog, that is when it becomes the headline news.
Barbecue Daddy.
Oh no, I will do that.
I tell you.
So I think so. For United just need to be prepared for tomorrow. Spanish oppositions can be tricky, and of course, if United can get at least maybe a 3-goal lead in that match on Thursday, I think they more or less have a foot in the next round. So let's see what we see. Let's see what these two teams actually give to us when they play on Thursday.
All right. Now,
Please, how long is the Rashford's injury?
Any updates? I think it's.
Well, for now, I've actually not checked on the update from it because yesterday's report was like the injury wasn't looking too good. So how long for now, I don't know. But let us see what we can find out this evening.
Well,
that's a dilemma for ETH.
We have to find something.
Because Rashford has really contributed to a lot of goals.
I tell you,
recent games. Martial is back.
Martial
we trust. There's
Martial
Vegas. Vegas.
I want to ask a question. Who would you like to win the match against Madrid and Chelsea?
Madrid and Chelsea. Yeah, you're putting me on the spot.
For me.
Why not? You know me, I was okay now.
Yeah.
For me, like I said earlier, when it comes to Champions League, I don't like predicting. I want to.
No, he's not predicting. Not predicting. Who would you like to go forward?
Go forward
to qualify.
Mark, help me out.
To be Madrid.
I'll be here.
To be Madrid.
All right, guys. So this one is fantastic. Hey, I think you want to talk. So, Cheye. So, what's your scoreline for that game? For your game on Wednesday against Madrid?
Madrid 3, Chelsea 0.
Go stay. Correct score. I love Sheye. I'm going to.
They love somebody that is always against his club.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Sheye. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks, John.
All right, one love.
Yeah, one love, man.
One love, bro. Thank you, love, man. Prof.
Thank you so much.
All right, one love. Kunle, thank.
Yes,
thank you. All right,
I'll go and see my Barcelona game.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. Mark, hold on, don't go yet. Ravi, one love, bro. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right. Now, let me ask you one question. It's not a question anyway. I think Barcelona, their hands is on the trophy. No doubt about it.
One hand on the trophy.
Look at the table now. You guys almost done. It's like
okay, let me explain something. Right now, it is 12 points. And if Barcelona win this game, it will go to 15 points. Which for anybody is a healthy league. Fantastic league. But I have a problem with our team this season.
What problem is that?
The problem is that they have been too. Can you bring down the music a bit?
All right.
Yeah. So the problem I have with them is that they have been too complacent. We have seen it. We saw it over Almeria. They went to Almeria and they lost 1-0. That is the first time in the season of Almeria's history, in the history of Almeria as a team, that they beat Barcelona. And it was because of the complacent, shambolic, lackadaisical attitude that they put up in that game. So my fear is, yes, if you win today, 15 points clear. Beautiful. But don't stop. Don't rest on your laurels, because right now, we have some key injuries. Dembele has not been playing.
Yeah.
Christensen is not playing. Pedri, who is our best player, is not playing. Recently, Frankie de Jong, he didn't play that match that we lost 4-0 to Real Madrid. He was injured. And we don't even know when they are coming back. Those are 4 key starters that are not playing for us. So if we are playing now and you think that, okay, we have 15 points clear, we have margin for error, we can do what you want, it's a self-defeating attitude. I would rather prefer that you continue to win than when you know that you have won. Mathematically, there is no hope for your rival. Then you can afford to play. That is my attitude as a person. Then play. If you are losing, then we'll say, okay. We can even say, okay, academy players, come and start playing so that we can see who of you will do well in a competitive setting, then you know that there is no mistake. Look at something that happened in 2018 when under Ernesto Valverde, Barcelona, we were moving towards the end of the season. I think we had 3 or 4 games left and we were unbeaten. Nobody has ever done it. I think it was 2 games. We had just 2 games to set a new record. And then we went to Levante. And Ernesto Valverde was like, okay, I can afford to leave Messi at home. Actually, we don't need this game. It wasn't, that is a mistake I will never do. Because even if Messi wants to say, I'll say, guy, do you want to make history? I want to make history. Do you want your name? Never. That is one thing that they respect Arsenal for in England. That they were the only one who went an entire season unbeaten. 2004, remember? Yeah. So we had that game, and what did Ernesto Valverde do? He left his best soldier at home, and then he took the team. And Yeremina, if you remember Yeremina, he was a complete disgrace that day. We were over. It was Coutinho who scored the hat trick that day that saved our face, and we eventually lost 5-4. That Emmanuel Boateng, one Ghanaian player. Yeah. Remember that game? So he stole the show, and everybody was like, they forgot that we've been winning. We've not lost a game throughout that season. So I was getting calls from everywhere all over the world. Guy, as if I am the one that owns Barcelona. What happened to you? What is this? What is that? Why you got beaten? Because people were expecting that somebody will beat them, and they let it happen. So learning from history, you don't do that. When you are leading healthily, don't rest. That is not the time to relax. It is the time to continue to move on. Let me do it until it is no longer possible for them to catch me. Then I will now start messing up, because then nobody will complain. Yeah. Then we know that the title is already in the bag. That is the attitude I want them to have. And I know that this afternoon I'm going to suffer, because I know Barcelona players. They are going to just, we cannot fool ourselves. We are not in any competition. We only play one game every week. They play on Monday, they'll play on Sunday, they'll play the next Sunday. So they have time. Unlike Madrid, who are playing, they have a final on the 6th. So they are going to be playing week in, week out, at least 2 matches. For us, we have so it is time to recover the players who are injured, get them back, try the academic players, but do the job. Be effective, score the goals, win the game. If you can win it in the first half, fine. So that in 6 weeks' time, we can be home and dry, and then we can celebrate. And we can start thinking about how we want to shape the team for the next season. Absolutely. That's my take on it.
Absolutely. I'm sure you're going to like it when this guy wins. I'm talking about Xavi. If he wins the league.
It's a good one.
It's going to be very good for him.
Yeah. He said something last week that really touched me. He said that I know that they asked him if the 4-0 home loss to Real Madrid it means that the season is bad. He said, no, I don't think that is my worst victory as a Barcelona manager. I have had worse days as a Barcelona manager, and the truth is that what people are forgetting is that when I got here, we didn't compete for anything. But this season now, we have the league to win. So we are competing for something. And we only lost at the semi-final of the Copa del Rey. And we have already won the Super Cup in January. Remember, it was the same Madrid we beat at Saudi Arabia. So I think Super Cup league is good. Then next year, we want to try and compete in the Champions League.
All right, Mark. So insightful about that. Thanks for showing up. We don't know when we are going to see you again. I mean, I'm sure it's because of this holiday.
You see, I don't know why those games. I understand that it has to be a Friday, because that is the day before the weekend when the matches start. But if in my heart of hearts, God knows that I really want to join every day. But I'm a working man, I'm a family man. I can't do that. I've had my time. When I have time, I do. But now I have
All right, bro. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you for joining us on this show. All right, Mark. See you again, man.
See you too. Bye.
All right, guys. This is how far we can go. It's been a fantastic week and also a week ahead for us. Please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel. This is how far the dawn can go tonight. Thanks, everyone. On to the next one. Bye for now.